Hello, and welcome to Back to School Night. I have pre-recorded a video to kind of explain a little bit of how my classes work and what kinds of things we're doing and how our grading scales work and things like that. So welcome. I'm gonna do a quick overview first of the three classes that I teach. I'm starting with Algebra 1 and Math Analysis. They're very similar in structure. So for both of my math classes that I teach, it's the 9th grade and the 12th grade math classes. The materials that they need are notebooks, which all of the students now have a notebook, and they're very good about bringing it every single day. So notebooks, their Chromebooks daily, and then I always recommend that they do colored pens and pencils. So those are the required materials. The grades that are assigned in the class follow our Circulos 4-point rubric. So we have a school-wide 4-point rubric that we use when we grade. But the important thing to note is that students can always make up work. So if they didn't do well in an assignment or an exam, they are free to retake it as many times as they need. Of course, under the appropriate circumstances, I would have students do tutoring in order to improve their grade, but they're always able to improve their grade if they end up not liking the grade or if they feel that they didn't reach their full potential. We always want them to be able to do better. So those are the grades we will use. It's the Circulos, the school-wide 4-point grades. For classwork, students will need their notebooks almost every single day. They already know how to set up the notebooks. So their notes so far have been very organized, very colorful. It really just helps them retain information when their notebooks are nice and organized. So they use notebooks every single day. Students are also assigned tasks every day. So instead of homework, I try not to ever give homework, but we do have tasks that students have to complete every day. And if those tasks don't get finished, then students have to complete them at home. But I will say I usually give enough time in class to get those done. So if students ever do have to do it at home, it's because they ran out of time in class. But it's not, I'm not going to have homework every single night. It's more like if students don't finish the tasks that were assigned. My other class that I teach is journalism/new media. So this class is really exciting and it's meant to be fun and interactive for students. We are actually going to have a Circulos news channel called Circulos Connect. It's a student-run morning show. We have plans for the show to be a highlight of the school. Students are going to run interviews, events. We have cameras, we have audio equipment, we have editing platforms, and students are getting acquainted with all of these things so that we can eventually have a successful morning show that we can show to the school. In this class, it's mainly going to be graded on projects. Students are all going to work on different projects at a time. So as long as students are completing their roles in the class, they should be fine. It really is meant to be a really fun class. If your students are in this class, hopefully they're starting to learn that we're picking up speed and getting to use cameras and equipment, teleprompters. So our show hopefully will air soon. We're starting to record the first episode currently now. Questions about where students can find classwork or any missed work. So Canvas is always the answer. All of the work that we do in class, I will be uploading onto Canvas at the end of the school day. So I know that right now with COVID, it's very uncertain if students will be out sometimes for a period of time. So every single day that we have class, I take all of our notes, I upload them on Canvas so that if students missed, they have access to any notes. Anytime I hand out worksheets, I also upload those on Canvas. So if students are absent, they can easily find missed work there. And I will actually kind of show you what the Canvas looks like in a minute. And then most work will be turned in during class, but if it's necessary, in case students need to stay home, I can also take things digitally. So I am going to show you what the Canvas page looks like for the students. And this is what students see when they first get onto my Canvas page. The example of this one is for my Algebra 1 course, but they all look very similar. So on this landing page, students have access to any links that they might need. For example, Desmos is something that we might use often. I will also add the CPM link on here. So any common links that students will need will go here. But the most important part, or I guess the most useful part of Canvas, will be the modules. So when students are absent, if they go under the modules, they'll be able to find that there's a page for every single day of class. For example, Monday, August 23rd, let's say a student was absent and they want to know what we did in class. So if they click into that module, they'll see the agenda, important things to know. That day I gave students access to their CPM book, so I also linked it here. We learned how to set up notes nicely. That's linked here. We did this worksheet. I filled it out on my iPad and I uploaded pictures so students can actually take these notes themselves. And then that day we did have a homework assignment that I linked on here with the due date. For example, another one of these, I also started linking the CPM ebook to the section that we're doing. So here is the notes that we took in class. This day we actually had an assignment that I put the pictures of the problems into Canvas. So if we ever have those tasks that we just started doing, I will link them on here in case students are absent. If it's a worksheet, if it's something else, then I'll put pictures on here. So Canvas is going to be very important when students are not in school because everything can be found on here. And if students do end up having to miss school and want to submit assignments, but they can't bring them on in person, they can definitely email me and turn them in digitally. Okay, so going back. Okay, so hopefully that answered questions on where students can find either missing work or any classwork that they did not get. And lastly, I wanted to share my contact info because I want to make sure that there is open communication between parents and myself if there's ever any issues or concerns that need to be addressed or just questions about maybe a student's grade or how they're doing in class. So here is my email. This is probably the easiest way to find or contact me. So it's linked on here. And I just wanted to share that I'm really excited to be working with all of the students. I want to be able to support them. That's my number one priority, is supporting students and giving them all that they need to be able to be successful in my class. So that also includes having communication with parents whenever things happen on my end. So I just wanted to share my contact info. Feel free to ask or feel free to email me and contact me anytime that you might have questions. And will try to get back to you within 24 hours. So I also have access with students on Remind. So if they ever have questions, they already know they can email me, they can send me a Remind message, and anything like that. So I'm really excited to be working with all of your children, and all of our students have been so great so far. And any other questions you have, feel free to email me.